Welcome to the mini series Artificial Intelligence Lab to Life, Hype to Reality. Artificial intelligence is expanding around us at a mercurial pace. It is probably the most visible technological transformation that we are likely to witness this century. Yet, the irony is that it is also the most invisible when it comes to how AI is bringing about these changes. While it is becoming a part of every activity in our daily lives, it is also blurring the boundaries of what is real and what is sheer hype. My name is Pankaj Vaish. This mini series is my humble attempt to cover the journey of artificial intelligence in a very simple and easy to understand manner. This series has 10 parts, each part being 5 to 7 minutes long. The various parts of the series are quite independent and you can listen to them in any order based on your interest. But I would strongly recommend that you listen to them in sequence to get the most out of it. Part 1: The AI Revolution. As a prelude, before we get started, let me begin with sharing something from a book that I just read. The book is called Life 3.0 by Max Tegmark. I recommend that you read it. What Max describes in this book is very thought provoking. In the book, Max talks about three stages of evolution of life. Life 1.0 was nothing but biological atoms like bacteria which had the ability to survive and replicate. This was tens of billions years back. That is the time when the universe, comprising of stars, galaxies, and planets, was being created. To understand the evolution of life, let's compare it to a computer which has hardware and software. Think of hardware as what comes at the time of birth, like your DNA, that can only change through generations of evolution. And software is what you acquire or learn during the course of your living life. So it would be apt to say that Life 1.0 neither had the ability to design its software nor had the ability to alter its hardware. Life pretty much ended the way it was created. Then came Life 2.0 that appeared about 4 billion years ago. This is when a group of atoms arranged themselves in such a way that it allowed them to retain complex information and replicate themselves. Humans are part of Life 2.0. We still cannot change our hardware, but we have the ability to develop software. For example, we can learn to read and write, learn languages, and invent technology based on various other skills during our lifetime. All the advancements, including artificial intelligence, we see today demonstrate our ability to alter our software built on the DNA that the human race is born with. Max argues in his book that Life 3.0 is likely to be the next stage which doesn't exist yet. AI advancements are unfolding so rapidly that it could potentially create a technological life form that can design both its hardware and software. This will completely transform the future of mankind beyond anyone's imagination. It is therefore absolutely critical for humanity to understand the risks and benefits of AI so that we can clearly define what we want the future to be. AI is commonly referred to as the fourth era of industrial revolution. The previous three industrial revolutions were the era of mechanization in late 18th century, the era of mass production in late 19th century, and the era of information technology in the mid to late 20th century. AI has permeated every part of our lives and society. Let us see a few numbers about AI ML to understand the momentum of this revolution and the enormity of the impact it is likely to have. According to Crunchbase, which is the leading destination for company insights for early stage startups, the number of AI and ML startups today is close to 10,000. This is an 8.2% increase over the startups listed in 2020 and a 14.6% increase over those listed in 2019. It is not just that the number of AI ML startups that are growing, but startups are also raising substantial money to fund their growth. AI startups worldwide, which raised a total of $1 billion in funding in 2013, had raised over $53 billion by the end of 2019. And the total amount of funds raised over 61 billion in the second quarter of 2020, a 35% increase compared to the same time the previous year. And the average funding round in 2020 was $30 million. According to an IDC research, the spend on AI in 2020 was upward of $50 billion. It is expected to grow at a cumulative average growth rate of 20% and more than double by 2024 to cross $110 billion. As per Accenture, AI and ML technologies can help boost business productivity by up to 40%. No wonder why there is such a rush for AI startups and such crazy amount of VC funding to back them up.